Hello friends, last lecture we have covered the topic variation in shape of the cells, and today we are going to focus on variation in size of cell. Okay, so let's start. First one, longest cell. Now this we have learned in the last lecture. If you recall, we have learned a cell which is branched and is having a long structure. Definitely that is a neuron. So neuron is a longest cell because it is designed to receive stimuli from a large area of our body. Okay, and also it needs to send impulses to brain and spinal cord, and also these impulses once been interpreted, the motor neurons will send a message to the organs. So receiving the stimuli and transmitting this, because the responses, right, definitely needs a quite long structure, and that's why neurons are longest cell, right? But amongst all organism, definitely giraffe, they are quite long, right? And that's why nerve of giraffe is been reported to a longest cell of animal kingdom. Okay, and you can just see that the dimension also, some of these neurons, they are found to be having a length more than 1 meter. Okay, the reason why this length is more is because vertebrae are the one which protects the spinal cord. Okay, the vertebral column of the giraffe is quite long, right? Normally we have different regions of vertebral column, and the first one that is called as the cervical vertebrae, right? Cervical because they are located in cervix, the neck region. Number of cervical vertebrae are always 7, and that is true for all mammalians, right? And you know that neck of the giraffe is quite long, and that is why cervical vertebrae of giraffe also are very long, and that is some of the reason, right? That is one of the reason that why these neurons which are originated from the cervical vertebrae, they are having you can say a quite long structure. Okay, so we have definitely have memorized the name of longest cell, but we also learned the story behind why they are longest cell. If you understand in this way, definitely you will never forget. Okay, coming back to the next cell is a largest cell, that is always a egg, right? For any organism, egg is largest cell of his body. Say for example human, definitely human also, the largest cell in human body is human egg, which is of almost 0.1 millimeter in diameter. This is, if you compare with the normal size, right? Normal size of any human cell is between 10 to 20 micrometer. 1 micrometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 6 meter. So as compared to normal cell, this cell is quite big. Okay, fine. But amongst the all animal, right, definitely egg of ostrich is largest cell, and the dimensions are 17 by 13.5 centimeter. Yes, you heard it right. The dimensions are quite big, right? And this is mentioned in your book, right? So if someone asks you who is example of largest cell, your answer will be egg of ostrich. Now you need to understand the difference between ovum and egg. Ovum is definitely a cell which is produced in the ovary, right? So by process of oogenesis. So that is what you call as the ovum. As such also ovum is a quite large cell. This you will understand in the next chapter that we are going to discuss is cell division, right? Because in case of cell division, right, in you can say oogenesis, there is unequal cytoplasm division, right? That normally what happens is daughter cell receive equal cytoplasm from a parent cell when a parent cell is divided. But here daughter cells do not receive equal cytoplasm. One daughter cell will receive most of the cytoplasm, while other does not receive that much cytoplasm, right? That is this process is specially designed to increase the chances of ovum, right, so that it can give rise to birth to an organism, right? So that is one reason, right? That is cell division process by which larger cytoplasm is received by ovum. That is one reason. Second reason is this ovum is having definitely its primary cell membrane, which is visible here. But if you can see that a small white rim that I have shown here over the cell, that is a spatial extracellular matrix present over this ovum, which is referred as the zona pellucida. Okay, definitely this you will learn in 12th biology. Okay, so primary cell membrane is having extracellular matrix, that is zona pellucida. Above this, if egg membranes are present, right, this is regarding ovum. If this is having egg membrane are secreted by primary sex organ and the fallopian tube, right? So this one layer of what I have shown is the secondary membrane secreted by ovary. One more layer can be observed in some of the animals, that is secreted by fallopian tube. So ovum plus egg membranes, that is equal to egg, right? This is difference between ovum and egg. Okay, again the primary membrane is of definitely cell itself. Then you have a secondary membrane, egg membrane, that is released by ovary, secreted by ovary. And in human, up to this only is observed, right? Because we are viviparous type of animals, right? Viviparous, that is we give birth to child, right? While in case of the oviparous type of animals, that is egg laying animals, there is one more layer that is secreted by fallopian tube. Fallopian tube is a structure, tube like structure, which carries the ovum from ovary to the uterus. Okay, and that is a characteristic white albuminous layer, right, which you observe over the egg. So that white secretion is nothing but it is albumin that is released by fallopian tube, right? So now you are very clear with the terminology, what is egg, what is ovum. As such, as I told you, that ovum is a large cell, and if you have egg membrane which will make it as an egg, right, then in that case definitely size is going to be large. Okay, so now you can understand why ovum or egg is considered as a largest cell of the body. Now when we have discussed ovum, how can we forget about the sperm cell? And it is interesting to note that sperm cell is smallest cell for any organism, right, which is again right for human. Smallest cell that is found in the human body is sperm. Now again question rises that why sperm is a smallest cell in the human? The answer is because the sperm are motile, right, they are having flagella. Now if this is a motile cell, definitely the size has to be small, because if it's a large structure it will not be able to move. Okay, so because the cell is having motility, the size has to be a smaller one, right, and size is approximately 5 micrometer in length. Okay, these are the dimension for this one, right. Ovum is definitely of 0.1 millimeter, right, and that is the largest cell of the human body, right. So we have checked the smallest cell of human body, but still this is need to be discussed. Smallest cell which is found in the whole organisms, right. So here there is one type of bacteria that is been till date is found to be a smallest cell, and the name of that bacteria is PPLO. Okay, PPLO refers to Pleuropneumonia like organism. Now you need to understand this full form, right, then you will never forget. Many times it has been asked what is the full form of PPLO, or which of the following is the smallest cell. So definitely your answer will be PPLO, but then full form of PPLO is pleuro. Pleura refers to a membrane which covers the lung, right, plural. Wherever you have the word plural, it means lung, relating to the lung. Pneumonia also is relating to lung, but it's a disease, right, when the alveoli of lung gets filled with the watery fluid, it is called as a pneumonia. And as such also, when you have the word pneumatic means it is related with the air, right. We have learned maybe in your 10th standard you have learned that this machine is operated by pneumatic mechanism. Okay, so pneumo refers to air, right, and from that you can very easily understand that pneumonia is definitely a disease of airway system, that is respiratory system, right. So a organism, a bacteria which produces a pneumonia like syndrome, right, which is related to the lung, Definitely you can call it as a pleuropneumonia like organism, and that is having a very small, you can say, size, that is 0.1 micrometer. Okay, as I told you that previously, that normally a cell, right, human cell or eukaryotic cell, they are having a dimension of 10 micrometer. So this is much smaller, right? As compared to the other bacteria also, this is quite smaller, because bacteria have a size of 1 micrometer, right, and here it is 0.1 micrometer. So this is quite small structure that you can consider. Fine. So here one more like a detail that I would like to mention is this PPLO belongs to a group that is called as a Mycoplasma, right? Mycoplasma is a class of bacteria, and a characteristic of Mycoplasma is they don't have cell wall, right? Remember that bacteria always have cell wall, which is a protective covering. Over a cell membrane, you have presence of cell wall. But this bacteria, that is Mycoplasma, they don't have cell wall. And PPLO belongs to a class of this bacteria, that is Mycoplasma. So many a times in options they don't mention PPLO. What they will ask you is identify smallest microorganism or smallest cell from the following, and then in options they will mention Mycoplasma. So remember, Mycoplasma is nothing but it is the, you can say that, a class of a bacteria under which your PPLO are a good example, right? So definitely chances are more that PPLO will be asked. But if Mycoplasma is also mentioned as option, you need to consider that also. Okay. Chalo. Moving toward the next is, now it's very easy. Longest human cell, definitely. We have learned longest cell for any organism is definitely a nerve cell, right? So here also it will be the case. Yeah, before we move to this longest human cell, we would like to discuss criteria for the smallest cell. That is asked one time in the AIPMT examination, right? The question was, smaller is the cell, what will be true about the that cell, right? That was mentioned in the, you can say that, answer, and the answers were smaller will be the nucleus, larger will be the nucleus, lesser will be the metabolic activity, or greater will be the metabolic activity. So in that case, you need to remember that smaller is a cell, definitely greater is its metabolic activity. Now we will try to understand the options that were mentioned or that I have discussed with you. Definitely size of nucleus is not dependent on the size of cell, right? I will give you an example. There is a type of white blood cell which is called as a lymphocyte. Lymphocyte is of approximately is of size 8 to 10 micrometer. But the nucleus which is present in lymphocyte, it occupies almost 80% of this cell size. So quite a big nucleus. Cell is small, but nucleus is large. And you can also give many examples of the cells where the size is very, very big and nucleus size is quite small. So nucleus size is independent of cell size. Okay, on an average it is 30% of the cell size, but there are lots of exceptions and it is independent of the cell size, right? So definitely answer is either there should be lesser metabolic activity or greater metabolic activity. But here you can very easily sense that if you have a small cell size, the surface volume ratio is high, that means surface area is high, and if surface area is high, definitely metabolic activity will be high, right? Say for example, you are having piece of soil, right, which you have made wet with the water. Now as such, if a larger amount of soil, as such, if you want to dry, it will take some time. But if you convert that soil in small granules, right, and if you provide a large area, surface area, the drying rate will increase, right? So from this example you can understand that once you have larger surface area, definitely metabolic activity is more. So such is the case with the smaller cells. So normally smaller the cell size, greater is the metabolic activity, right? I hope now you are very clear with this. Yes, now we will move to this longest human cell, and as we have discussed, it is definitely a neuron, right? Neurons in human are reported to be as long as 90 centimeter, right? You heard it, right? So it is 90 centimeter, quite long dimensions. Okay. Moving towards the next is plant cell, right? We have seen about the animal cells, right? Now we are moving towards the plant cell. Okay, so largest plant cell is a unicellular cell which is from algae, right? And that is Acetabularia, right? So Acetabularia is a large single cell structure and it is having a dimension 10 centimeter. Because it is so big, so it is an ideal cell to take to be considered for experimental biology, right? For study of the plant cell. Okay, because the organelles, the metabolic processes are quite easy to understand, right? They are quite visible because it is such a big structure. Okay, so this cell is also to be remembered, right? Because it was used by a scientist Hammerling, right, which is mentioned in our chapter in the description of the nucleus, cell nucleus, right? So initial experiment on cell nucleus, right, regarding the nucleus importance were carried on this Acetabularia by scientist Hammerling. What he did was he took this Acetabularia, right? As you can see that there are three parts, right? There is cap, stalk, and foot, right? And this foot part is having nucleus, right? It is nucleated part. So what Hammerling did was he removed the cap, right, and he keep the Acetabularia plant as such. And after few days, what he observed that the cell was able to regenerate the cap, right. Now what he did was the counterpart, that was foot, is removed. Now once the foot was removed, after few days, right, he observed, but there was no regeneration of foot. And this experiment was a basic experiment to show that nucleus is responsible for the control of metabolic activity, control of the phenotypic appearance, right, and definitely all types of hereditary characteristic. That importance was proved by this experiment that was done by Hammerling, right. So you need to remember this experiment, right, and also you need to remember that it was executed on a plant, that is Acetabularia, and that is an example of largest plant cell, right. Now if you make a story for each of these example, you will definitely remember it for a longer time. That is my guarantee. Okay, chalo, moving towards the last example regarding the variation in the size of cell, and that is longest plant cell. Longest plant cell is a Rami fiber, right, that is scientifically been known as, scientific name of Rami fiber is Bommeria nevia. This Rami fiber is having its phloem fibers, right, and that phloem fibers are very long, right. You know that phloem fibers are responsible for transportation of nutrition. Okay, so definitely the one which is involved in transportation, that has to be long, right, and the longest fibers are observed in this plant, right. This Rami fiber is very important commercially, right, as far as the textile industries are considered. Okay, chalo, so we have learned all types of variation in size of cell, right. We have learned few examples of animal cells, bacteria, plant cell, right, and you need to memorize all these names. Okay, so let's check up to what extent you have remembered this name. Fine. So first one, yes, longest cell. Can you recall the name of this cell? Yes, it is a neuron of giraffe, right? Nerve cell of a giraffe. Dimension more than 1 meter. Chalo. Second one, largest cell. Definitely largest cell for any organism has to be egg. Okay, we also seen the difference between egg and ovum. Fine. So largest cell is definitely egg, and human cell, definitely human egg is of 0.1 millimeter. Amongst the all organism, definitely egg of ostrich is largest cell, 17 by 13.5 centimeter. Okay, chalo, smallest cell, definitely it's a bacteria which is without cell wall. Yeah, group of that bacteria is referred as a mycoplasma. An example of that cell is PPLO. Right, now example definitely you will remember, but full form of PPLO also needs to be remembered. So can you remember that full form? Right, it is pleuropneumonia like organism, and size is 0.1 micrometer. Okay, longest human cell, definitely neuron, 90 centimeter. Right, largest plant cell, Acetabularia, right? And that is having dimension 10 centimeter. Okay, and longest plant cell is a rami fiber, and scientific name is Beaumeria nevia, right? So these are different examples that we have learned. Okay, now moving toward the type of cell, right? Types of cell, because the size of variation in size of cell which you have mentioned in your textbook is been explained with context of these types of cell, that is eukaryotic cell is of this dimension, prokaryotic cell is of this dimension. So for that you definitely need to understand that what is eukaryotic cell, what is prokaryotic cell, right? That you need to understand. So these cells are divided in three types, right? Or even you can call the organisms, right? Because this cell ultimately will make an organism. So organisms are divided in three types, and that is on the basis of level of nuclear organization. So nuclear organization means how well the nucleus is organized, whether that nucleus is covered by a membrane or not. Because if it is covered, definitely now it is not prone to damage, it is protected. So whether this nuclear membrane is present or not. Second thing is whether there is presence of histone proteins or not. Histone proteins are basic proteins which wraps your DNA, right? DNA is quite long structure, right? If you take a DNA from a single cell, it is as big as, you can say that 6 meter, right? That is the length of a DNA from a single cell. And this long DNA is compacted, it is coiled, it is condensed, and it is present in a very small size, that is in your nucleus. Okay, and that is because they are wrapped around this histone proteins. Okay, so if histone proteins are present, definitely it shows that the nucleus is quite organized. Okay, so if nucleus is organized, you will call such type of an arrangement of nucleus as true arrangement, right? So U refers to true, karyo refers to nucleus. A cell which is having true level of organization, right, of nucleus is called as a eukaryotic cell. So definitely here nuclear membrane is present and histone proteins are also present. Say for example, human cell is a eukaryotic cell. But there are some cells, like say for example bacteria, they don't have nuclear membrane, they don't have histone proteins, right, around the DNA, right? So DNA is not wrapped around these histone proteins, and that's why we call it as a primitive type of a nuclear organization, right? Pro refers to very primitive, very basic type of a structure. Okay, and that is you call as a prokaryotic cell. Bacterial cell is example of prokaryotic cell. These two examples are mentioned in your textbook. Third one is not mentioned, but we will definitely consider as it is asked in the previous examination, and that is called as a mesokaryotic type of an organization. Mesokaryotic, nuclear membrane is present, but histone proteins, they are absent, and that is the reason why we are keeping as a meso. Meso refers to middle. It is not of prokaryotic type, right? Neither it is prokaryotic nor it is eukaryotic. That's why we will consider as a middle, right? So middle level of organization is observed in mesokaryotic cell. Okay, I hope it is clear. These basic definitions you will definitely need when we will go in depth of these cells, right? Definitely this we are going to get in detail of, right? So coming to the last slide of today's lecture, this is what is mentioned in NCERT, a typical eukaryotic cell, right? That is why I took the definition of this cell, right? So the plant cell, animal cell, these are all, you can say that eukaryotic. Here is what is mentioned is animal cell. An animal cell is having a normal size of 10 to 20 micrometer. Typical bacteria, that is prokaryotic cell, is 1/10 of this, right? How can you remember how you can remember this dimension? See, here it is mentioned 10 to 20 micrometer. In case of bacteria, it is mentioned as a 1 to 2 micrometer. So it is 1/10 of the eukaryotic, right? So very easy to remember, right? So typical bacteria, you can see that cell membrane and cell wall both are present, okay, and the dimension is 1 to 2 micrometer. A type of bacteria, that is PPLO, which is devoid of cell wall, right? Here you are not finding any cell wall, and that is of size 0.1 micrometer only. Okay, so this is again 1/10 of, you can say that the typical bacterial size. And if you still go for 1/10, definitely you will get a size of virus, right? So it is 0.02 to 0.2 micrometer, right, in size. Virus are not living organism, they are linked between living and non-living organism, right, which are very small in size. Okay, so I hope now you have remembered this size. You can pause the video in between, and then you can speak the name, right, which have been mentioned with their size, right. You need to remember the labeling. Also you need to remember the size of the cell. Okay, so I'm hiding this part. What is this cell? Yes, it is a typical eukaryotic cell, right. The diagram that is shown here is of animal cell. And what is the dimension? Size? Definitely it is 10 to 20 micrometer. Here it is a prokaryotic cell. It is a typical bacteria. You can see that. And the size is 1/10 of this, definitely 1 to 2 micrometer. Here one more bacteria, but it's the smallest organism, right, in the living world, right, and that is PPLO. And what is the size? 0.1 micrometer. And last one is definitely virus, that is having size 0.2 to 0.02 micrometer. Okay, so with this we have completed today's lecture. Okay, we'll meet you in next lecture. Thank you very much.